Bonjour, hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Max Mountain World. Hello, welcome to Max Mountain World and welcome to my work. Today a little painting job, and I'll explain the problem, I'll explain the solution and how I make the situation better than it was before. Okay, here's the video. A couple of weeks before the first clients arrive, I'm in the final round of preparation of the apartments. Now, one thing that happens here now and again is that the clients will feel that they're doing great on themselves by they'll block up the ventilation, and then these bathrooms become very steamy, and what happens is the paint, which was badly done originally because it's not the correct paint, is all gone horrible and flaky. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make this door as new in less than an hour. First things first, obviously, easiest thing, take the door off. And put it somewhere easy to work on. Second thing is to relieve it of its handles. It just actually makes no sense at all to attempt to tape around it or whatever for the painting. And yeah, this one's being a bit stubborn. Strength manoeuvre. And on the subject protection, plenty of old towels and sheets and things. And we'll do the job outside to keep all the dust and crap out of the apartment. Obviously that sheet's to protect the good side. The outside of the door, it's not perfect, but it's not damaged. Give myself something to stand on, so that I'm working at a nice height and not all the way up there. I've got more control. A lot of these jobs, there are simple things like that. They just make life easier, make it better as well. And what we have here is lots and lots of bits where the condensation, water's landed on it, stayed on it, and it's just little by little, along with products, hair products and all sorts, it's just rotted the door away. Now we're not too bad down the bottom here. I've got a couple of dirty marks, but this here, the idea is I start off by applying, I've got this little spatula scraper, not too little as you can see, compare it to the size of my hand. My hands aren't ginormous, but what to do is just run in all directions, so at the maximum angle without it actually jumping like that. Now just run one way, the other way, the other, and that's all the loose stuff gone. Obviously I have to do that with everything, so I just pick a sort of area and just run it round. It's maybe a bit too close to be able to see that, but just run it round all the angles, quite a steep angle on the spatula. And if I compare the area I've just done to the area next to it, you can see the difference. There's no bit sticking up anymore. I'm going to continue doing that just now. Obviously it's going to be awkward having cameras and stuff, and I don't want any dirt to get in amongst the camera while I'm doing the job. There's a bit of a wind about today. Quite refreshing, to be honest, because we've had quite warm weather recently. So luckily it's not raining, and outside I can do this work, close this door behind me. I'll leave the camera, but the camera will rejoin me just as I'm finishing that part of the job, and I'll show you the next part. Not a bad place to find yourself working. Now, a lot of debris kicking about down here, but that won't really matter too much. When I'm finished, I'll clear up the worst of it, and the storms will do the rest for me. Now, that first part of the job I've done, you'll see that it's opened up quite a lot. But the main objective of that is not to have pieces that's going to be picked up and spread in the painting process. Next, what I'm going to do is just take it even finer down. I'm going to use a sort of two-handed operation. Now that last operation took me about 10 minutes. And what I do here, kind of awkward to do on the two hands, so okay, do it with one hand and one foot, is I've got this old stupid looking thing, but it is actually quite good because this bit here is grippy, so it grips the back of this paper. I can use this on a sanding basis. It's got a wee sort of shoe thing at the front, a little spatula thing at the front, so if I get something obstinate, instead of grinding like that, I can just really have a go with a smaller area and get more pressure on it. So using the same brush every time, not using it for any other job, and basically I'm just going to be running a circular motion, fairly hard pressure down, and circular motion in both directions, just to make sure that I do actually get everything, because obviously a piece like that is going to only come away in a direction like that. If I'm sanding that way, it's not really going to do much, but the sandpaper will pick it up. I'm using a P80 grade paper, or whatever, it's not really paper, it's something that's designed for a sanding machine. I don't actually have a sanding machine. I lent mine out to someone a couple of years ago and never got it back, so it doesn't matter, I can take shortcuts that make it just as efficient. So basically do that, and then every now and then sweep the stuff away. Now that'll be in my right hand, that'll be in my left hand. Now and again, not only changing directions and going the other way, but changing hands so that I'm not fatiguing any particular muscles, fingers or whatever. Now I'm going to have to leave the camera inside because this is quite a dusty job, particularly on a windy day. Another 10 minutes down. There's quite a lot of noise outside here. Delivering some kind of digger truck or something. Pretty bad timing on my half, but I can be louder than them. It's just to give it a final sweep down now, and a quick dust down as well. While I'm still outside, keeps all the mess outside. So the door's ready to come in now. So, ready to go. Now, took me 10 minutes on the scraping thing, about another 10 minutes I would say on the sanding. So, already making good time. This part of it also will pick up any tiny bits that are in the way. I'm sure you can see that that looks pretty rough. Not for long. Just a bit of additional protection all around. Always remember, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So, floor is protected. Any spray or droplets or anything will get caught. If I have anything bigger, I'm always ready instantly. Hey, prepared! Yeah, the old 7 P's as well. Perfect planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. Right, so let's go and get the gear together. When I said I was going to do this in less than an hour, I basically meant that I was going to have the whole thing back on the wall, back on its place in an hour. The work itself takes substantially less. Equipment for the next stage. On a very large roller. Large rollers have a larger footprint on, allows you to have a much lighter application, which leaves a better sort of stipple effect on the paint. It's wrapped up in plastic. I don't wash them after every time, I just seal them from the air. You can use them time after time after time without all the rigmarole of cleaning and stuff like that. I also have an old wooden kitchen spatula thing in this plastic. If the paint starts to drop its yellow active agent, drying agent, you can mix it back in with that, put it back in the bag afterwards, use it time after time. Now, a little tilt to one side, and you can see it's leaving a paint mark, not a yellow product mark. Just reusing this little stool thing here again, and of course protected. Keep the paint at a nice level so I'm not down and up and down and up. It's there to hand, it's very easy to work with. So, unwrapping my old roller, and there's a bit of a technique here which I've adapted, in that what I want to do is start at one end, work to the other, and then do the same again, always in the same order, and that way when the paint has 2 or 3 seconds to adhere, then I'm not starting immediately on the stuff I've just done. It's each way, each way. Now I'm going to just take this hip cloth of mine, give it a final dust down to make sure, one, that most of the dust is gone, and two, any of the original paint, that might just kind of help it build up a little static and adhere to it. I can also feel if there's any potential problem bits, but I think we're pretty good to go at that. So, stick my cloth away. Now, what I'll do is I'm going to load this roller up, just little at little. No point in using a painting tray here. I can just load it really slowly, just get some paint on it. Now, making sure I make no drips by turning it upside down and rotating it as I go. Now I'm going to start here and move over. So the next area to where I'm going to be starting from is where I'll put the first bit, and I'll use that paint to spread it on. So now, working to the edges, always working away to an edge, away to an edge, and away. Away, get the first layer on, work away to the edges. Now I'm fairly heavily pressing here, just to make sure I get a good spread, and trying not to touch the metal hinge bit there on the way over. Wouldn't be too disastrous if I did. And this is where I laid the thick bit on, so I can use that to carry on to the next part. Now, just making sure I've got a fairly even spread until a light spread there. That way I can do a light spread when I work my way back, and it's going to be even all the way. So I'll make the next load of paint onto the roller. Using methods like this tends to make less mess, which means less work. And again, quite well loaded up, but that's just not dripping at all. Again, this is where I finished the last bit, so the next bit, I'll just offload most of that paint, and I can work it back away to the joint, to the ends, away to the edges, and work over to where I left the first stage. Now, back to where I first offloaded, I can then go on to the next area. Again, over, working to the edge. This is only a first coat. So as I say, as long as it's fairly even, it doesn't really have to be perfect. at this stage. And again now, as the roller lightens up, I'm getting to a point where it's getting quite light. I'm not using much pressure on here at all. Just go back to the original offload area, make sure that I've got that peeled away and back to where I was originally. Now I'm going to get this done in 3 stages, so just load up again, and again rotate, pull it away, no drips. That area to there, so offload and start working. So working back to that bit where it started getting lighter, and rolls away. Back to where I loaded up the paint onto the door. And I can just give it a little start there. Working away to the edge. As you can see, these little nasty bits that I had on the door there, it's not important to get rid of them. The objective is not to do a job that is good. The objective is to do a job that looks good. There is a difference. Now, just working up here, I can pull some more paint off my offload area and work to the edge of there, and there, and there. Doing quite well. I've not, maybe speaking too soon, I've not hit that hinge yet. I'm saying yet, it's a bit pessimistic. I'm not intending hitting it, so I've not hit that hinge. Doing quite well. Now, what I'm going to do is, now that I've got all the paint on, go back to the beginning and I can even it up. This is a very light touch with the roller. Now, I didn't actually go near that hinge. I don't need to. If it doesn't look right near the hinge, there's going to be enough shadow about it to hide the fact that that was the case. And I'm just working over very lightly to give it an even surface. And when I've done this, the best thing for me to do is verify how it's going. And the best angle to look at it is actually where I've placed the camera, because I've got the light in the background. Now this is the back of a bathroom door, so it's never really going to have any situation of light that's going to be any worse than that, or any worse from an aspect of actually being able to see crap. So just avoiding things like that. I've left a mark, so I start at the edge, I finish near the edge, and when I finish I'm just doing a gentle lift off and it should start to look good. Yeah. Now there are lines on that, but that's going to just blend in when it dries.